Good evening, I'm Bersar Michael and you're watching Kini News, the show that brings you today's biggest stories. Umno's Kota Tampan assemblyperson Saarani Mohamad will be sworn in as the new Perak Menteri Besar after Perak ruler Sultan Nazrin Shah was satisfied that Saarani has majority support in the State Assembly. This happened after PAS, BN and Bersatu decided to work things out. It appears the relationship between Barisan Nasional, Bersatu and PAS is whole again after BN Chief Ahmad Zahid Hamidi apologised on behalf of Perak BN for ousting Bersatu's Ahmad Faizal Azumu as Menteri Besar. Now with a potential crisis averted, BN, Bersatu and PAS have agreed to back Perak Umno Chief Saarani Mohamad as the state's new Menteri Besar. The apology was made during a meeting between Zahid, Bersatu President Muhyiddin Yassin and PAS President Abdul Hadi Awang. Also present at the meeting were the respective Secretaries-General of each party, Anwar Musa, Hamzah Zainuddin and Taqiyuddin Hassan. Even Bersatu's Faizal, who lost the post, appeared cheerful in the Dewan Rakyat when he revealed that the problem has been solved. He said this out of the blue when he stood up to debate an unrelated motion on the local government and housing ministry's budget.
Setelah dirujuk oleh Bagan Datuk dan juga Marang, saya dapat tahu masalah di Perak dah selesai. Maka saya bangun untuk membahaskan usul yang telah dibawa.
Yang berhormat, tak ada kaitan Yang berhormat. Tak ada kaitan, itu negeri ini persekutuan.
Tak apa, semalam you tanya, hari ini jawab.
Meanwhile, the Perak Legislative Assembly has been postponed again because there was currently no government. Speaker Muhammad Zahir Abdul Khalid proceeded over the sitting today as scheduled and spent 5 minutes on housekeeping before announcing the adjournment. The budgets of 19 ministries under Perikatan Nasional has been passed at the committee stage. 2 more ministries got their allocations passed at the committee stage today. At first, the Dewan Rakyat passed the 31.94 billion ringgit in allocations for the Health Ministry via a voice vote. Then later in the day, the House passed the Housing and Local Government's allocation of more than 5.3 billion ringgit under the Supply Bill 2021 through a block vote at the end of the committee stage debates. A total of 109 MPs voted to pass the budget, 96 voted against, while 18 were absent. So far, the government has passed the budgets for 19 ministries at the committee stage, 7 through block votes and 12 via voice votes. Prior to the start of the Housing and Local Government Ministry's budget debates, Dewan Rakyat Speaker Azhar Hazizan Arun said he had received 4 motions to cut an allocation of 8.63 million ringgit for the Penggerak Community Tempatan or PEKT initiative, listed as an item under special programs for next year. The motions were filed by Lembah Pantai MP Fahmi Fahdil, Pasir Gudang MP Hassan Karim, Tanjung MP Chang Lee Kang and Tuaran MP Wilfred Medias Tangau. Azhar allowed all 4 motions to be debated as one matter to be decided by the House. The 4 MPs in their debates, among others, argued that the PEKT initiative and the funds allocated could be abused as a political vehicle to further partisan interests. Government MPs who debated in favour of retaining the allocations, however, said appointed PEKT activists could play a role to foster better cooperations between ordinary Malaysians and their local authorities. The allocation was retained after more voices voted against the motion. For the first time in a week, we have recorded under 1,000 new cases today. Let's take a look at the country's latest COVID-19 situation. This segment is brought to you by Blue Air. Malaysia reported 959 new COVID-19 cases today. This would make it the first time it has fallen under 4 figures in a week. The last time the country recorded under 1,000 new cases a day was on December 2nd. Selangor reported the highest number of new cases with 277 new infections, followed by Sabah with 203 and Kuala Lumpur with 129. Meanwhile, Pahang reported a sudden spike of new COVID-19 cases, which for the most part of the pandemic's third wave recorded 0 or single-digit cases until recently. Today, Pahang broke 3 digits for the first time during the third wave, recording 119 new cases. This was in part contributed by outbreaks among migrant workers living at 3 condominiums at Genting Highlands. The condominiums affected are Amber Court, Ria Apartment and Kayangan Apartment. With a total of 1,068 recoveries recorded nationwide, the number of active cases fell slightly to 10,748 cases. Meanwhile, the Health Ministry reported 5 new deaths today, 1 in Kuala Lumpur, 2 in Sabah and 2 in Johor. If you need convincing that the COVID-19 vaccine is safe, Bung Mokhtar has offered himself to try it first. Describing himself as a warlord in Dewan Rakyat, UMNO Sabah Chief Bung Mokhtar Radin has volunteered to be the first person to take the COVID-19 vaccine in the country.
Untuk menyahut cabaran yang berhormat Seriki tadi, saya menawarkan orang pertama untuk dites vaksin ini kalau ada. Saya tidak takut sebab saya mau sihat. Ya, Panglima Perang kena dulu.
Bung said this in response to Serikai MP Wong Ling Biu, who questioned who the vaccines would be tested on in Malaysia. The Kinabatangan MP said he wasn't afraid to test the vaccines on whether it is safe. He also urged the government to hasten the procurement of vaccines so that it can be distributed to the people. Harapan's Wong, who brought up the matter in Parliament today, had previously been infected with COVID-19 during the first wave. The government has signed agreements with US drug maker Pfizer and the COVAX facility to acquire vaccines. This will be enough to vaccinate 30% of the population, with priority given to frontliners and high-risk groups. Ultimately, the government plans to vaccinate 70% of the population to achieve herd immunity. The police have arrested two of their own in Pangkalan Chippa after a couple lodged a police report with shocking allegations. Two police officers in Pangkalan Chippa in Kelantan have been remanded for 7 days for allegedly forcing an engaged couple to have sex and film them in the act. The 35-year-old Lance Corporal and 30-year-old Constable were also alleged to have extorted the couple for cash after allegedly forcing the woman to perform oral sex while her fiancé was made to withdraw money from the ATM. Kelantan Police Chief DCP Shafin Mohamad said the remand order from December 6th to December 12th was made after the woman's fiancé lodged a police report at the Pangkalan Chippa police station on Sunday. He said in the 10:45 p.m. incident, the two policemen were carrying out patrol duty when they came across the couple, who are in their 20s, in a car by the roadside. He told a press conference at the Kelantan Police Contingent headquarters yesterday that on top of all the allegations, one of the victims was also punched. He added that a thorough investigation would be carried out, and if it's true the personnel were involved, appropriate action will be taken. The case is being investigated under sections 377C, 354 and 384 of the Penal Code. Meanwhile, both of the victims have been sent to the hospital for health checks. Beware of Malaysia Kini and take Bahasa Melayu classes. That's the response from Kedah Menteri Besar Muhammad Sanusi when asked to comment on something he said recently. Kedah Menteri Besar Muhammad Sanusi has advised media portals not to spin after he made an analogy using toddy to counter the statements released by MIC and DAP leaders over a temple demolition issue. Based on news reports, Sanusi had suggested MIC and DAP leaders who criticised the state government over the demolition of the Sri Mahamuniswara temple in Kuala Kedah on Tuesday were drunk on the toddy of popularity. To conclude his statement, Sanusi advised them not to act as if they were drunk on 3 bottles after consuming only 1. In a press conference on Monday, Sanusi took a jab at media portals such as Malaysia Kini and the now defunct The Malaysian Insider and urged netizens not to refer to these sources for the news.
Dia kalau petik Malaysia Kini, rakyat Malaysia akan bertelagah bertemu sampai kiamat. Jangan ambil Malaysia Kini. Kalau ada wartawan Malaysia Kini pun bertobatlah. Malaysia Kini, Malaysia Insider, apa semua kerja spinning. Semua berita yang betul ni semua jadi bengkok kan, no?
Sanusi said this in response to a question on netizens arguing with each other after Umno Youth Exco member Wan Muhammad Azri Wandares, better known as Papa Gomo, issued a statement urging the Menteri Besar to apologise to the Indian community over the toddy analogy. During the media conference, the PAS leader also told his critics to re-enroll for Bahasa Melayu classes if they don't understand what was said. He said this is because Bahasa Melayu is full of metaphors and proverbs.
Untuk kata-kata bidalan ni kena mengaji banyak sikit lah. Contohlah saya nak sebut itu. Ni jadi kontroversi pula lah. Jadi tak usah sebut lah.
MIC leaders have responded by calling him insensitive and uncivilized. Meanwhile, Papa Gomo said Sanusi should be ashamed of himself over his choice of words, adding that the PAS leader's statement is ill-mannered and casts insinuations on the Indian community. Coming up next, Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine data wins backing of US FDA staff. Pfizer cleared the next hurdle in the race to get its COVID-19 vaccine approved for emergency use on Tuesday.
Pfizer cleared the next hurdle in the race to get its COVID-19 vaccine approved for emergency use in the US after the Food and Drug Administration on Tuesday released documents that did not raise any news about its safety or efficacy. The analysis, conducted by FDA staff, affirmed that the coronavirus vaccine, developed by Pfizer and its German partner BioNTech, was 95% effective in preventing COVID-19 after 2 doses. The results also show some protection begins even after the first dose, though the agency staff noted that more data would be needed to assess the potential of a single shot. The Food and Drug Administration posted its analysis online ahead of a meeting on Thursday in which outside experts planned to discuss the documents and whether Pfizer's shot should be authorized for emergency use. This comes as Britain on Tuesday began a vaccination drive using the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine, making Britons the world's first recipients outside of clinical trials. Meanwhile, back in the US, concerns are growing about vaccine supplies and timelines for inoculating Americans after the New York Times reported that the Trump administration had the opportunity over the summer to buy more doses of Pfizer's vaccine, but declined. Meaning, according to the report, that Pfizer might not be able to deliver more than the initial deal promised until June of next year. The Trump administration is pushing back on the report, saying the US made other supply deals with other companies when those vaccines got approved. One administration official told Reuters the White House is still confident the US will be able to accommodate any American who wants to be vaccinated by the middle of next year.
Shoppers everywhere face a growing battle with scalper bots. Here's more on that. Want one of Sony's new PlayStations? Well, you may have to battle a robot to get it. Retailers say the game consoles are the latest target for so-called scalper bots. That software used to snap up hot products online and then relist them moments later at big markups on sites like eBay and Amazon Marketplace. Experts say the practice may be nefarious, but it's not illegal. Walmart says the bots accounted for most of a surge in orders for the new PlayStation 5. It blocked more than 20 million bot bids within the first 30 minutes of a PS5 sales event. But it's not just games consoles being targeted. Lockdowns have seen bots search out all kinds of consumer staples. That includes P&G's toilet paper and Lysol's disinfectant. Collectible sneakers from Nike and other brands have also been a target. And consumers don't stand much chance against bots that could reload web pages every few milliseconds. Some even disguise themselves as hundreds of shoppers from different places. Retailers are stepping up cybersecurity in response, but the bots are readily available online and lucrative for their operators. Security firm Netase says one group made $1 million or so reselling PlayStations in just the last 2 weeks of November. With such profits being made, the bots aren't about to go away. 2 UK patients have become 2 of the first people in the world to receive the coronavirus vaccine made by Pfizer and BioNTech.
British health workers applaud Margaret Keenan after she became the first person in the world to receive the Pfizer and BioNTech coronavirus vaccine outside of clinical trials. The 90-year-old grandmother from Northern Ireland was given the jab in central England on Tuesday, December 8th. Her treatment means the UK is now the first Western country to roll out mass vaccinations to the public. For Keenan, it was hard to believe she was part of a historic moment.
I thought it was a joke, to tell you the truth, to start with. I couldn't believe it, but I'm happy it's happened. And now I've done it, and hopefully it'll help other people to come along and do as I did, try and do the best to get rid of this terrible thing.
Not long after, this British man became probably the world's second most famous person named William Shakespeare. The 81-year-old was one of the first people to receive the vaccine.
Groundbreaking, I think. It could make a difference to our lives from now on, couldn't it? The start of changing our lives and our lifestyle.
Britain has ordered 40 million doses of the Pfizer-BioNTech shot. About 800,000 doses are expected to be available within the first week. Care home residents and carers, the over 80s, and some health service workers are top priority to get them.
And that is all for me today. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and Facebook for the latest news updates. I'll be back with more tomorrow, same time, same place. I'm Bersatu Michael. Thank you for watching.